Hey everyone! So, Ohara came back in a big motherfucking way, didn't it, huh? Okay. So, I'm gonna be talking, so just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of how I'm going to do this review, I didn't write any notes down because honestly, this chapter was just too fucking big in order for me to put down any notes. I had to do it off the cuff, but I am gonna be looking at you're gonna see me looking at my phone a bit in this review because I am gonna try and use like the chapter itself as a bit of a guide for each point I make. But to that end, let's just jump right into the Ohara bits, the part where we learn so much of how connected Ohara and Vegapunk truly are. Like, Vegapunk in many respects after this chapter, Vegapunk in many respects is at the center of it all. He's at the center of the whole Void Century thing, everything in regards to it. Like, and the thing about Ohara itself is that, for me, Ohara was always kind of that thing where, obviously, when it was revealed when Robin's backstory was revealed, I always knew it would play an overarching role in the whole thing of learning the mysteries of the Void Century, all that. It would always be that sort of overarching presence. But the way Oda did this shit, how he incorporated Vegapunk's own history into Ohara, into his connections to Ohara, into his connections with Clover, just everything. The way Oda so seamlessly tied all of this together is fucking phenomenal. Like, I know we say that Oda is an amazing storyteller. I know, but the way he's so beautifully tied Ohara's own history with Vegapunk's history, it's presented in a way where it makes so much sense. And okay, it's truly like, okay, this is actually also one of those chapters to me where the world government's fucking incompetence is truly spectacular. Like, truly, like when you really look at, like, the world government's a fucking dumbass organization to begin with. Don't get me wrong. But when you look at the Buster Call now, when you look at what happened to Ohara, the world government are fucking morons in an attempt to supposedly suppress the knowledge of the Void Century getting out. It's thanks to that bullshit. All that shit with the Buster Call, all that this knowledge even exists now. It survives today thanks to them. Like, it truly, like, again, it truly is kind of spectacular how I can sit here and say it truly is, this whole thing is a problem of the government's own fucking making. It's because of what they did that this knowledge even lives on and exists today. Like, holy fucking shit. It truly is spectacular. I know it is truly spectacular how incompetent the government is to me. Like, it really is. Like, fucking hell, how did you, like, Vegapunk is like, Vegapunk, like, just him, he really has trolled the world government here a bit, and I kind of love it for him. And, okay, aside from that, though, we also learned that a lot of the knowledge of, like, the Void Century, a lot of the knowledge that he learned from the Void Century is on Elbaf. So, this is going to be very interesting. So, and apparently Saul survived as well, I think is what's being said here. I don't know, but yeah, that's going to be interesting to see that reunion if it's actually true. But so we learn obviously that a good chunk of the knowledge of the Void Century, a lot of those books are on Elbaf now, which does now put Elbaf like squarely in our sights. Like, Elbaf is more or less like the next destination beyond here. Like, we pretty much have to go to Elbaf now in order to follow up on this, because it truly is like Elbaf is the next step to finding out even more about this whole mystery than it already is. And I honestly, like, when it came to the whole and honestly, I'll also say this: when it came to the whole like Clover and Vegapunk thing, I never really that's actually one of those things again where I never really thought about it, but it does. I can honestly really see Vegapunk and Clover knowing each other. Like it again, it's one of those things I didn't really think about, but when you really do think about it, it is interesting to see. Now, obviously, I guess we do got to talk about Vegapunk's design. I've been beating around the bush about it, but we do got to talk about Vegapunk's design. And holy, like, we get to see the actual Vegapunk in this chapter, and just seeing Vegapunk's actual design, that is just pure Oda. Like the design he gave him, the big head, all that stuff. It's like, yeah, that's. I should have been more surprised by the design Oda decided to go with how Vegapunk actually looks, but I'm honestly not. I'm really not. But okay, even more beyond that, we also learned that yes, we also get even more into the whole connection with that. Yes, they once upon a time were and still are associates. And that, they were like even Dragon has like everything is all connected around Dragon and Vegapunk pretty much with when it comes to Ohara. Like it all began, like it didn't just stop with Ohara's destruction. Like everything set forward into motion with Ohara's destruction. Even Dragon becoming like starting the Revolutionary Army and all that. But even before that, they were associates and. Vegapunk becoming and how Vegapunk became a government scientist, but it is very interesting to see like Vegapunk's mentality, his how he views his goals, his views. Like he generally wants. Vegapunk generally seems to be like the kind of person who wants to bring people in the government over to his side, to realize that. The Void Century is nothing to be feared. It can be, it is something that can be learned from, and we do need to, and it's something that history does need to be learned from. So he became a scientist in order to see like which people in the government can be trusted with this knowledge, and which people he believes can truly which does make me wonder if and like who he feels. He can trust with this knowledge, and who he feels are actually going to push the world forward rather than keep trying to push back on it, rather than keep trying to suppress this knowledge. Now, as much as I appreciate, I don't know how many people for as much as I appreciate the optimism of Vegapunk in this regard, I don't know how many people are actually going to buy into that, or how many people are actually going to want to, or how many people in the government or how many people in the Navy are even going to want to help them out. Like honestly, only like a very select handful of people really ever come to mind. Those being Smoker Aokiji Kizaru and Kobe too, and possibly Garp, but like. Yeah, I don't like those are only a select handful, but I think it does also portend that those select few that I just mentioned might play a bigger role than we think in terms of when the time comes and Vegapunk is going to need people who he can trust. It probably is going to rely on those select few people. But granted, at this point, I also don't know whether or not Vegapunk is gonna. Actually, I'm not going to lie, this chapter also kind of threw me for a loop in the sense where I don't know anymore whether or not Vegapunk is even going to survive, because it feels like Oda is setting him up to kind of in order to survive beyond this, and to basically make the big move of saying, okay, of making the big move of telling the people who he thinks he can trust in the government and the Navy to make this, you need to be the ones to carry this on kind of thing, because I don't know if you can necessarily trust again and maybe I don't know, like because with Lucci, I don't know if this is also pretending of them being the ones he trusts with the knowledge. I don't know, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how everything goes from here. Honestly, like this chapter just opened up the fucking floodgates, and seeing this whole, and just in general seeing this whole I don't want to say revised history, but definitely this more expanded history upon Ohara, upon Robin's past. Like, it really, I really love this chapter. There are so many reasons I love this chapter, but I think more than anything else, I really love how it did kind of really show the scholars of Ohara. They didn't die for nothing. Robin herself hasn't been carrying around this huge weight, these burdens for nothing. Like, it's because of Ohara, the dream of the Void Century, it truly does still live on now. And it's up to, in some ways, it's up to her to pretty much carry on now. Now, with that said, I do admit, I don't think, I'd have to reread again. I don't think it was mentioned, but I don't think we got like a explanation of what it is that makes Robin specifically special and how she can read this stuff. But that's one thing that has always been a question on my mind, is how has Robin so easily connected to this? How can she read the poneglyphs kind of thing? But I don't know, maybe it's just one of those things of being a scholar, I don't know. But yeah, it's just seeing Robin again, just seeing Robin's tearful smile, just her tearing up with happiness, like, it's something I genuinely love to see. And now obviously the chapter ends with Luffy and the crew meeting the real Dr. Vegapunk, and yeah, it's that little conversation is definitely going to be interesting, to say the least. It's like, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of wacky shenanigans between Vegapunk and Luffy now, but like I really like I'll just be curious. I'll be curious to see now that the real Dr. Vegapunk is revealed how the story goes from here. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this reveal. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Twitter, Analyst Crunchyroll. Be sure to notification bell, the subscribe button, and just share it around, guys. Dark Knight of Anime, signing off. Holy shit, people.